is Mr. T Boone Pickens, and he's a well-known oil man for a long time, but now he's moving towards improving the energy, the current state of the United States energy resources. So do you think you would mind going through just a general overview of what Pickens' plan is, just for our readers?
Yeah, the Pickens plan was, it had several parts. We wanted to have a 21st century grid. We wanted to have renewables in it, which was solar and wind. Those did make the stimulus package. We don't know to what level yet, but we'll know soon. The second part of it was to get on a resource in America that would replace foreign oil. And the only resource we have, now I know you'll say we can go to the battery. The battery's for light duty. I'm talking about heavy duty. Mm-hmm. The battery's not going to move an 18-wheeler. So I want to get the fuel off of the 18-wheeler, the diesel, which I consider to be foreign oil, and put natural gas, a domestic fuel, into those vehicles. Mm-hmm. Not the ones that are rolling right now. I want to see those phased out and then go into the natural gas truck.
And the centerpiece for this is a number of windmills throughout the center of the United States, right?
No, that's the first part of it, okay. And that's in the stimulus package already.
Right.
Okay, but I'm talking about now that this is another part. But the way it works is you're going to use a natural gas for a bridge for about 20 years, and then you will have developed the wind and the solar. So you have your grid, which has the renewables in it, and in 20 years or 15 years, whenever you can get over to the battery for all the rolling stock in America, all the trucks, cars, everything, then you'll be able to plug into a grid, and then you'll be green.
Okay. So just a little more background on you. How did you go from being an oil man to where you are now? What kind of raised the alarm for you that made you realize that?
I didn't have any alarm. I'm in the energy business, and all the things I've talked about are energy.
Right.
And so I could see how you could replace foreign oil, and I knew we weren't going to find enough oil in the United States to ever be independent, but we could be if we used other resources. Okay. And so I just arrived at it that way.
I don't know if how familiar you are with a lot of the clean tech startups. What's your feeling with companies like Tesla, the electric cars? I think they're revealing a new model today.
Well, I'm for anything that's American.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. One thing we didn't talk about today was conservation. We didn't mention much about that, I don't think, did we? I mean, so many of these speeches and everything else in question, but I don't recall anybody. And yesterday, there was a great focus on that at the Commonwealth Club. Everybody wanted to conserve, but that's a part of solving the problem.
Are there any of these tech startups that you're most excited about?
Like what? Give me another.
Maybe. Well, I mean, some of the tech startups we've seen have been Tesla, like the cars, battery cars, but others are more sort of there's one that's trying to get groups of people together to use kind of a collective buying power to get lower prices on solar panels.
I like it.
Okay.
I think you aren't going to mention anything that's American, but I'm going to tell you I'm against. I'm for anything that we can do here to get loose from the foreign oil.
Okay. Do you think that I know the energy industry is definitely investing quite a bit of money and time into shifting from non-fossil fuels, or to non-fossil fuels rather, but do you think it's going to take any outside innovation to really make that leap from these startups?
Well, what's going to happen if we have the leadership that I think we do in Washington is that they're going to say, look, this is the way it's going to unfold, and we're going to use our own resources instead of somebody else's. And when that happens, and you have incentives put into the plan, well, you're going to have all kinds of ideas showing up. I mean, just 20 people getting together to negotiate a lower price for a solar panel. That's just one of thousands of ideas that will come up on how to solve the problem. And we're going to see things in 10 years from now that we didn't have any idea.
So do you think renewable energy is ever going to wind up being as profitable as oil at scale?
Profitable? Well, it has to be profitable, or it won't be developed.
Right.
Nobody's gonna develop it at a loss, but.
That's true, but as you said, we're sort of running out of oil, so we're sort of being forced to develop these new technologies anyway. Do you think that having developed these technologies, we're still going to be able to make as much money from them as
I don't know. You know, oil is so unique because you drill 10 dry holes, then you hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you hit, what happens? You make a lot of money all at once. And here I'm not so sure renewables fit that same pattern.
Mm-hmm. Shifting more towards, a lot of our readers are actually entrepreneurs who aren't necessarily focused in clean tech or conservation. I know you've been a lifetime entrepreneur. Are there any kind of lessons you learned in your career that you really think hold true regardless of what area you're really developing companies in?
Give it to me again.
Okay. Any lessons you've learned as being a lifetime entrepreneur that you'd like to share with other entrepreneurs out there?
Well, yeah, one thing you gotta, you know, if you're gonna be an entrepreneur, you're gonna have some really sad days. Because unless you're the world's greatest entrepreneur, you know, you do see entrepreneurs, they come in all kinds of different packages. But you see sometimes one of them that comes up with an idea, and the idea hits, and he doesn't ever pursue another idea.
Mm-hmm. You just kind of stick in the same place.
Yeah, and so he makes a lot of money out of that. Be like a geologist that found a big oil field and spent the rest of his life developing a big oil field. Right. But usually, an entrepreneur will move from one idea to another.
Do you have any lessons aside from oil? Because I think that's some sort of unique in that you can really strike it rich with, like, I don't know if luck is the right word for it, but any kind of lessons about perseverance or keeping motivated?
Well, I mean, there's no question that you're gonna, when you have one of them that fails for you, it's a pretty good letdown.
Mm-hmm.
But I bounce pretty good. You know, that I miss, I come back.
Yeah, there are quite a few stories about you bouncing basically from the very bottom.
That's right. I mean, but you do. If it's too much for you, if you can't stand the wear and tear, get a job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So looking forward, going back to the oil prices, where do you see us going now that the stimulus package has incorporated some of the things we had to do? What's the next step?
Well, we're in it. I mean, they're grinding away. You've got a House energy bill will be introduced, I think, next Wednesday.
Okay.
And you've got a Senate energy bill that's going to be coming off very quickly too. And what I'm hopeful is that the House and Senate are going to be in conference on this bill very fast, and that we could get a vote before Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the geologist in me. I mean, I'll always work on the most optimistic schedule.
Mm-hmm.
That I've had people tell me, said, you haven't got 1 in 10 chances of getting an energy bill by Memorial Day. Well, what the hell, I'll take 1 in 10, and then if I don't get it, I'll get it when I can get it. And so, but I think that President Obama realizes that he's going to have to show results pretty quick. You can't keep talking about things. You got to make something happen. And if he makes something happen on energy, it'll take some of the heat off of him on the economy.
Mm-hmm. Do you think any of the actions they take will really have an immediate impact on the economy? I was under the impression a lot of these things would take years to really roll out, as far as the fields of windmills and sort of thing. Is there anything
Windmills
more
will be
immediate?
slow.
Right.
Be slow.
Is there anything more immediate?
You
think
can
they
do
could
it. The quickest one I know, and Speaker Pelosi asked me this the other day, he said, what's the quickest? I said, the quickest is to get those 350,000 18-wheelers on natural gas.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be able to show a decrease in the diesel, and you'll show results quick. She said, how long? I said, it'll take you 2 or 3 years.
I think that does it for most of my questions. Thank you very much for
You bet,
taking the time
Jason.
to walk us through this stuff.
Good.